Abe, here is what I would, and I don't share personal letters, but I'm going to share yours, because this I find absolutely incredible from the Anti-Defamation League. ADL, and we never mentioned this on the air, ADL sent a direct mail piece before the elections out to their supporters. And in that direct mail piece, they identified me as a guy making anti-Semitic comments. I never once said anything on the air. But we did bring it up to the ADL and say, hello? Can you name those anti-Semitic comments, please? Hello? We received this letter. Dear Glenn, a direct mail piece recently sent to some ADL supporters around the country inadvertently misidentified you on the list of celebrities that had made anti-Semitic statements over the past year. This was clearly a mistake, and we deeply regret that your name was included in the mailing, which was produced by an independent third-party contractor. I hope you will accept my personal responsibility, or my personal apologies. He could have ended the letter there, but he didn't. Even though we may disagree from time to time, I know that you are a friend of the Jewish people and a friend of Israel. Sincerely, Abe Foxman, National Director of the ADL.
Okay, but that was what, 1993?
It was October 22nd, 2010. So it was you got to go into the time machine.
Way back last month.
way
back to late last month.
Yes.
To get that.
That letter is, they didn't find any relevance in that at all. That letter was not included in the New York Times. It is on the front page of theblaze.com.
Of course they
today.
didn't include it.
In fact, a guy who knows this is Jeff in New York. Jeff, you are you're a blogger?
I'm a blogger. I write for the Breitbart sites also.
Okay.
I'm an observant Jew, and I tell you this not because I'm trying to become the Mercury rabbi. I'm telling you this because I want you to know where it's coming from. Okay? To me, one of the worst things someone can do is make a false charge of anti-Semitism, just like the false charges of racism, because when you say it enough for the wrong reasons,
it means nothing.
It waters down the word, and that's a horrible, horrible word, and especially for when a Jew says it, because we're taught about lashon hara, which means bad tongue, okay, and it literally means you don't tell bad things about someone, especially when it's not true, okay. First of all, as someone who's written a ton of times, I posted that 60 Minutes interview maybe 10 times over the last 5 years. Okay, so if you're an anti-Semite for doing it, okay, when I go to shul on Saturday, I'm going to get some dirty looks, because then I am also. Okay, but it's even more than that. If using some of those comments about Soros being a banker and someone who is a bad banker, trying to destroy. If that makes someone an anti-Semite, then when President Obama said on 60 Minutes, that he didn't become president to have to give bailouts to greedy Wall Street bankers, what's that? I mean, it's the same thing, even worse, because usually if someone's an anti-Semite, they don't say greedy bankers, they say greedy New York bankers, they say greedy East Coast bankers. So, I mean, and I'm not saying the president is an anti-Semite. I'm saying that if they're going to be fair,
Jeff, that's not anybody's. That's not anybody's. Goal here is to be fair. They're not looking to be fair.
But Rabbi Gamliel once said that the world exists on peace, truth, and justice, and I think it's up to every Jew to point out when someone is being unfair, branding anti-Semitism to someone who isn't a Jew.
Hang on just a second. Somebody just gave me yours is the lid.
That's actually the lid, and actually I wrote something on Big Journalism yesterday about the Media Matters things about you being an anti-Semite, and I have something coming out today about the ADL. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the ADL. You know, the ADL has come out for things that have nothing to do with its mission. It's come out with letters about late-term abortion. It comes out with letters about the Arizona law. You know, it came out with a white paper saying that, you know, Tea Partiers are anti-Semites and skinheads and things like that. And you know, I got to tell you something. I mean, I did wear a Jewish star on the yarmulke I wore when I went to tea parties. I mean, it's just their job is to be part of the progressive spin machine. That's really
well,
what they
I will
do.
tell you this. I don't have a problem with the ADL. If I mean, I stand with anybody who wants to stand against racism, who wants to stand against
I agree with you, Glenn.
anti-Semitism. I stand with that.
But
so
they don't stand that way. Let me give you an example. About 4 years ago, there was a woman in Fort Lauderdale who was about to get thrown out of her apartment because they wanted her, because she put a mezuzah on her doorpost, you know, like Jews tend to do.
right.
She called the ADL. They didn't want to get involved. Okay? Only because I called the governor's office, the attorney general's office, and some members of the legislature and, you know, and embarrassed them, was she able to stay in her apartment. Okay, but the ADL didn't want to get involved. It wasn't a big enough, you know, issue for them. But they late-term abortion, which has nothing to do with their mission, is important enough for them. So, yes, if they spent their time protecting civil rights, I would 100% agree with you.
Well, Jeff, I will tell you this. I'll look for your. Is it on Big Government today?
Today it's on Big Journalism,
Big
and
Journalism.
it's already on my site. And I actually sent the link to Keith if you want to take a look.
Yeah, it's he just put it up. It's Yid with lid. Blogspot.
Well, that comes from Yid with lid means a Jew with a yarmulke. It's kind of my way of saying.
Oh, I know.
I'm a Jew.
I just love it. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Before you go, you said you've posted the 60 Minutes interview many times over the last several years. Do you actually have the actual video of that, or just the transcript?
I'm talking about this. I have the. I guess I'm looking for the video. No, I have the transcript.
Transcript. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Which
Thanks.
I posted.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Glenn. Hang in there.
You got it. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.